Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored in our brand new studio.
Yay, finally.
Yes, we made it. Like I said last Monday, I was like, I apologize if we don't get to the podcast because there was a lot going on with our move into the new studios. And so we were just trying to get the show on the air. Yes. And then we were like, let's get to the podcast. Because by Friday, I think we were all just mentally just done.
Because it wasn't just the week. It was like a full week. So it was like not this past Thursday, but the previous Thursday is when it started. And it was like just a lot. And for Miguel, you know, and Kelvin learning all of the new stuff. And then the team on that end trying to connect two separate studios into the main studio. It was just...
It's ironic because with all this new technology, it's meant to make us faster, easier, streamless, like all of it. But for me, I cannot post Queen City Confessions immediately after we're done because I'm still like figuring out all this new apps.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I think it's one of those situations where it's like you have to sort of just learn the basics before then you can like throw in all the other stuff.
Right.
Because, you know, we'd been doing this for pretty much a year, literally. And so then all of a sudden to like, all right, we're changing it all up. How you do it? And then it's like, wait a minute, before we add all the extra bells and whistles, we just need to like get down to how to press the buttons. Like, how do we know what's going on right now? So we do apologize because I know there are a lot of you that were like, yeah, I know y'all figured it out, but like, we're a podcast, girl. So I get it. Thank you so much for being that much of a fan and in the Platypus Posse for wanting to hear it. So how has everybody been over the past week?
Pretty good. I mean, but I feel like I'm better than y'all have been because I moved into the new studios in Tampa before.
Right.
And it hasn't been that bad. But like, I don't know, it was just a lot on y'all's end. So I feel like I'm doing better than with the move and everything like that. I just felt so bad for y'all.
It was a lot. It's a lot. It's fine, though. It's fine. Hey, but you know what's part of the job is figuring it all out. Yeah. But personally, though, outside of, you know, work stuff, how's everybody been?
Oh, good. Good. I have a hole in my roof, so that's fun. Like, I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast or on the air or what. I don't remember. But when there was a raccoon living on our roof back in like December, we just discovered that raccoon tore a small hole. And I mean, it's not small, but it ain't really that big. It's like, I don't know, probably like a foot in diameter hole in the roof.
Right.
Like there's just the shingles are all torn asunder. And it's right next to it was well, this is what I think. It was right next to the chimney, and I think it was a very cold night, and I might have had a fire lit, and it was trying to get even warmer because it could feel the heat coming out of the chimney, and it just started digging, and it looks like it gnawed on like the 2x4 beams under.
Oh,
and I'm just like, oh my god! And so it's about to rain today. Like, luckily we have not, and we didn't know that happened. We didn't know it until we had a chimney sweep come through to clean the chimney last week, and he was like, this is bad.
Oh, so, not good.
It's supposed to rain today in Tampa, and I called a roofing place, and they can't come out until Wednesday to even assess it. And then it will be like another week or two after that before they can fix it. So I'm today about to climb up on my roof with a tarp I ordered from Amazon and hammer it over the hole.
Please tell me there's going to be video of this, of you climbing on the roof.
Please.
We need to see this.
I'm there. Like, I feel like I told my person, because he's very afraid of heights, and he's kind of like a tall dude. So he's like, I don't think I should go on the roof. He's like, I might fall through the roof. And I'm like, I was like, the roof has solar panels on it. And if it can support that, it could probably support you. And he's like, well, let's just be safe. I'm like, or is it because you're afraid of heights? And he's like, well, it doesn't matter either way. I probably shouldn't be on the roof.
Like, let's be honest here. So, the real reason why.
Yeah. So he's going to have to be like I don't know, my spotter.
So he can film is what you're saying.
So he can film, but I also like need his eyes on the prize. Like he can't if I tumble off the roof or something.
Right. I mean, if obviously, as he's filming and if you tumble down the roof, he can throw the phone down, and then get you. So, I mean, because not like he would catch you anyway. So, I mean,
No.
if you're going to fall, you're going to fall, which you won't.
Oh my God. So I'm stressed out. Like I have to go all over it. I don't know how I'm going to do this because we don't have a ladder that reaches up to where it is. So I have to start on the shed in the back of the house, go to the garage, jump from the garage to the actual roof and walk around to where the chimney's at. I'm like, it might not even happen. I'll be absolutely.
I'm like, can we call somebody? Like, aren't there like those little? They have
Where's
those,
Abe? Abe don't live here no more.
Well, they have those apps where you can get like handymen or handy people.
I'm not
to
trying
do
to
stuff.
pay more money than I'm gonna need to.
You go break your arm if you fall off that roof, and she's gonna be like, "Well, at least I didn't have to pay for anybody to do it." Oh my gosh, I'm so worried for you.
That's my day. I may or may not be getting on a roof. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh my gosh. And Kelvin, you had a very lovey-dovey weekend with your fiance. What did y'all do?
I booked a Mr. B&B because we were trying to find some good Airbnbs, and Oscar was being super picky, and I didn't know what to go with. And so all I knew is that I put hot tub. That's all I wanted. It was the only listings I cared about.
Mm-hmm.
And we found this one on Mr. B&B. It was like kind of the only one on Mr. B&B in the Asheville area.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get there, we get these instructions, and this was Friday, and this was right after our show, and it was a 2-hour drive. So I was exhausted. And this man, by the time we get to the community, he's giving me instructions, and he's like, when you see this gate, you're going to make an immediate left, even though the GPS says this. And I had disassociated at the wrong time.
Oh.
And he's like, did you catch that? And I was like, mm-hmm.
Oh no.
And
And
then
you're like,
Oscar's driving, and he's like, so where do I go? And I'm like, I have no service, but it was fine. Shout out to Apple Maps, got us there with no problem.
yay.
It was terrifying though. We were driving in a Toyota Corolla.
Oh.
And it was a house all the way in the top of the mountain. The views were beautiful. We had
Oh,
the
I love
hot
that.
tub, and then I didn't realize the guests were going to also stay there at the same time. But it was fine. They treated us so well. They were so generous. They
Wait,
were like
who stayed there?
the owners of the house.
Yes.
Oh, wait,
Yes.
I'm confused. So what is it? What is a Mr. Airbnb? What is that?
So it's a gay version of Airbnb, basically.
So it's just Airbnb for the gays.
Exactly.
Okay, so then the owners of this house were in the house, and so were you?
Yes.
It wasn't weird?
I guess I had maybe not read that part, and reading the reviews, I had seen some people saying like, oh, the guests stayed with us, but they were fine. And their bio says, oh, we may not be there that week. And so I come to realize and learn that they were off 1 week, and then they go to that property another week. We just happened to be there when they were there too.
Like, are y'all sharing like a kitchen and like bathrooms and stuff?
Yes, but it was like a 3-story house.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we didn't go in the kitchen. We weren't going to cook. But the only time we really saw them was when we came back after being out all day, if anything.
I'm sorry. If I'm the owners of that house, I got strangers staying with me?
They're all about that. Well, I was giving him some ideas on how to like make more money off of it. And he's like, we really just kind of want like gay men or anybody really gay to feel comfortable, because there's not that many options of Airbnbs. And they also know that sometimes when you book an Airbnb, some people say they're cool with gay people and sometimes they're not. And so they were like, that's what we want this to be. Like, we're not making this huge amount of money. We just want to be able to have to provide that.
I think I've had some friends, because I've heard of Mr. Airbnb. I've had some friends use it before when they've gone to like Fort Lauderdale or Wilton Manors or something like that. And they always say they have a good time. When I go to, because I don't want to have to talk to anybody I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
So that just feels like, are y'all just like in the living room looking at each other, having a cocktail, being like, hey girl, what's up?
We had a private entrance straight to our room that went out to the hot tub, and everything was fine. We had our own bathroom. It was completely lovely. It was
That's
great.
good.
Now, how often did you run into these people?
Like I said, when we would come back and we needed to go to the kitchen to maybe get like a wine bottle opener, like they were extremely nice at giving us recommendations on where to go, and really just tiny small talk. They had dogs there too, which I absolutely love. They were the sweetest animals ever. It's all in the bio. It's all in the bio. You would have liked them. They didn't bother.
I'll have to, because I think Abe has Mr. Airbnb downloaded. I don't think we've used it though. But if we did, I'd be like, they can't be there. They can't.
You could ask them. What was cool is that you could ask them like, "Hey, when will you be in town? When will you won't?" And they'll coordinate with you. They live in South Carolina.
Okay. Well, I know that like our house in St. Pete, we use it for like Airbnb and Verbo and stuff. And like Abe manages all of that. And so just hearing the different types of people that use Airbnb and to hear how his like, I feel so bad for him, but it's becoming like a full-time job of like, because you have people that, you know, like when we've booked an Airbnb or I've done it, I'm very low maintenance. Like, I'm like, let me just see when do we need to be there, and then that's it. And then I'll just read the stuff on the way there.
Right.
But then you have people that, Holly, I imagine like how your mom would be if she ever used Airbnb, where like 2 weeks before they'll email Abe and be like, all right, so I know that all the instructions are there, but can you just walk through it one more time? And Abe's like, okay, but we tell you right there like how to do it, and they're like,
no,
I know, but I just
Margaret like more than getting extra instructions. And y'all wonder why I like instructions so much. This woman wanted all of them,
right? And so then there was the other day where some people were staying at the house, and they were like, they look just older, two older people, probably in their like maybe 60s, maybe. And I don't know if they've never dealt with like electronic keypad. And so like Abe, the little motion detector on the Ring doorbell kept going off. And so we were watching it, and like those poor people, like homegirl is like trying to like dee 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 and then you see the husband in the background just being like,
oh my goodness. Well, to be fair,
Susan,
your little beep beep is a little bit boop boop difficult. Like, I don't know. I just remember because my person and I went to your house after the hurricane because it had electricity and my house did not. And so we just want to go there and like get cool and watch TV. So we went, and like I couldn't get in the door for a couple minutes, and I was like panicking. Like it doesn't work once, I'm panicking, and I'm like, oh God, I did it wrong. Oh my God. And then I like calmed down. I was like, let me just do this. Okay, got it. Because he was like, oh my God, do we have to bother them? We'll just leave. He's like, we'll just leave. Yeah, so it's fine.
Oh no, it's so funny. And so just hearing the different types of people, and then like we had some plumbing issues which were super annoying, talking about dealing with like contractors and stuff. And so like the guy, you know, because obviously if you are staying at an Airbnb and you have some plumbing issues happening, you're like, well, why wasn't this fixed or whatever? But the person was like super, super nice about it and like super understanding. And it's like, hey, we're getting someone out there as soon as possible, but we don't live there. So we're, you know, and this isn't an issue. We could just call a friend to go check on it for us. So we have to call a plumber and then wait for them to come. And so it's a whole process that Abe has to deal with all that stuff. And I'm like, girl,
seems like a lot.
There was something else I was going to mention, but I don't remember because we haven't done this in a minute.
I know. Been a minute.
Since last Monday?
Yeah, it was a whole last Monday. So
I don't even know what's going on in my life other than the roof. I don't know. We're trying to do it's kind of a lot going on.
Oh my gosh, what did I have written down? I've been so scatterbrained with everything happening here.
St. Patrick's Day just happened. You went for a colonoscopy the other day.
Oh, not a colonoscopy.
You did.
Oh no, I did not. I have not been to the doctor. No. Oh, it was St. Patrick's Day weekend, and so we were out and about. We were at Queen Park Social for their big Shamrock Jam thing that they have. And so we had started like, I had one drink while I was there, just because it's like our first sort of like social event. So I didn't want to like be crazy or anything like that.
Right.
And so then after that, we went out and met some friends out. And have you ever had one of those moments where you are saying to yourself, I feel my age right now? So we were standing around with a bunch of friends and like their friends that they had brought with them that I hadn't met before.
Mhm.
And so we're all like, oh, where are you from? What do you do? Whatever. And this one girl, I mentioned that I'm from Atlanta. We both were. And I was like, she goes, oh, what school did you go to? I'm like, oh, I went to Georgia Southern. She goes, oh my God, so did I. And she was
Oh.
like, what year did you graduate? And I was like, 2007. And I was like, what year did you graduate? And she was like, 2018. And I was like, so we were not there at the same time. And then this other girl in the group was like, we're holding down the close to 40s club over here.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know why that comment, because I haven't really thought about, like, I'm 37, 38 this year. And so we're getting right up close to 40. But I don't know why that one thing she said just sent me in like a rabbit hole of like, oh my God, like I am in the 40 group and we're talking about my 20-year reunion.
Yeah.
And like all these, and then it's like you start to like look at everybody around you. It's sort of like when the picture comes into focus, and I'm like, she probably graduated high school in like 2015. She probably like, oh my God, like we're not the kids anymore.
No, and when younger people, like, it's very odd because, like, in your own head, and I guarantee you anybody in their 60s, 70s would tell you the same thing. You don't think that you're old,
Right.
because you still feel like you,
Right.
like, right? It's like your inner, what you see yourself as. But I'm starting to wonder how other people, younger people, see me, and I don't know. Like, are these younger people, which sounds old anyway, but it's not. Are these younger people looking at me being like, that old bitch, like, wandering around in her elder millennial yoga pants? Like, did she not get the memo that that's not it?
We don't
Like,
do that anymore.
I know. I'm so, and then I'm like, well, I keep up. I'm on TikTok. Like, I know what's happening. So I am aware of it, but like some of the lingo, I can't, like, some of it I've managed to like integrate into who I am on the air and speak and whatever, so I'm still current, but some of it just doesn't make sense for me to even say. So it's very weird to think about me, how I see myself, still young, how
Right.
my kid sees me, how like people in their early 20s see me, like, am I irrelevant to them? I don't know. It's very weird.
The language thing is very honest because I heard bussin' today.
Oh.
And I was
Do
like,
you
I
ever
could
say
never-
that?
No, God, no. It just
Bussin'.
Bussin'.
the sandwich is bussin'. And I was like, the
You're
fuck?
like,
This
Who
was at a
said
cafe.
that?
This was at a cafe in
Oh.
Asheville, and it was a bunch of kids, to be
Mm.
fair. But
the literal kids do say that. So like when my
Correct.
daughter was telling my person and I, and she was like, try, like, speak kid language. And she doesn't say things like bussin', but she's like seen videos where other people say that stuff. And I'm not even sure she knows it, but he's over here trying to be, he's like, just embarrassing. It's cringe. Like, even though we're the same age, he obviously doesn't have like a radio job where he has to know Gen Z slang.
Right.
And I was like, that is bussin', no cap. And my kid's like, when you say it, it's not right. And I'm like, I know that it's not right when I say it. So you have to, like, it's even the way you say things. And I just finally integrated she. So I don't know.
No, sheesh.
I mean,
Yeah.
but when it comes to like terminology and stuff, I've never been one to like use phrases. Like, I sort of not make up my own, but like usually it's like gay culture stuff is what I use. But I've never one to been like, oh my God, like, let me make sure that I'm, what was that one phrase? Oh, like when people are like, ooh, this song slaps. Like, I've never been able to get on. I've never been able to buy into that phrase, and I can't.
I got it, slaps. I got it.
I can't.
And I remember when a bop came back, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, as in the 50s when they had bops, we're doing that. I'm like, that is stupid.
Yes.
And then after about a month of like practicing on my own, I'd be like, this is a bop. Like, I say that on the radio. And I've been like I'll hear like a song from the early 2000s and be like, man, that still slaps. So I've integrated those, but like some of them I simply cannot.
Those are calmer ones though, like slap, bop, mother is now coming on up. Like, those are the more calmer ones. I can't do the yeets.
Right.
Yeet?
Oh my God. My
Yeet?
kid was so into yeet.
Oh,
And she will also do it. Like, she did a dab the other day. What did she do? I think she threw something in the. I don't even remember, but at the end she was like, I was like, no, you didn't. Are we dabbing?
No, I thought we were
dabbing?
done. I thought dabbing was like 5 years ago.
It was, but it kind of has shifted into a different thing now. We're still doing it, but it's different.
I was watching Abbott Elementary, and one of the teachers says, "Old enough to know better, young enough to sheesh."
Oh,
I don't know what that is.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to find like the. Let's see here. Do you know what these Gen Z slang terms mean and where they really come from? No cap, chuggy, drip.
I hate chuggy because I am, so
Right.
I don't really appreciate it.
Shugi means what? Not like.
It's like you think you're still cool, but you're not cool.
Oh, okay.
It most notably reference to like probably my age woman.
Right. So like, are you cool or are you, and this is from dictionary.com, are you cool or are you chuggy? The word used to describe uncool, things that are either out of style or trying too hard to be in style, is believed to have been coined in 2013.
Oh God, all the way but it wasn't a thing. I'm sorry. Nobody said that in 2013.
The term got a great deal of exposure in a viral TikTok video in 2021. By May 2021, the hashtag chuggy had over 10 million views on TikTok. Chugginess is a noun variation of the word in a person, blah blah. Yeah. There's
it
also
would be like if I had a decorative statement piece in my house that said "Live, Laugh, Love." That is the epitome of chuggy. Which I don't, by the way. But if I did, that would say it would be me embracing my chugginess.
I get very offended. Like Abe, my husband, has always made fun of the live, laugh, love. And like I had a few phrases. I never had live, laugh, love, but I did have a few phrases on my wall that like after he got comfortable, he'd be like, so that phrase over there, is that something that you're like really tied to? I'm like, well, clearly, because it's hanging on the damn wall.
What would you have?
What was it, Miguel?
I want to know, bitch. I want to know.
I realized too that I was like, when they were at live, laugh, loving, but then I also have a little cluster of 3 phrases on my bedroom wall.
Hold
There's
on.
4 of them actually.
There's one in the bathroom. There's like one I kept. Wait. Oh, I think it's something like they weren't having fun. They were making memories or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
Hallmark ass bitch.
So we were making memories.
We were. And like, well, when I originally bought it, it was for our guest bathroom. And it was like my first little gallery wall that I created in our townhouse. And so I was like, oh my God, this will be so great. Like, we weren't just having fun. We were making memories and then having pictures of like all of our friends.
In the bathroom?
This is on the guest bathroom in our townhouse in St. Pete.
You were making memories pooping.
Right.
Well, you could like look at all of the different pictures. And so, and then there was another one I had in the dining room before he moved in. I don't even remember what it was now, but I just like one day went in and I was like, let me just take it down. Like, whatever. Fine. Apparently I'm chuggy.
It's embarrassing. Like I have the phrases, and then I was like, oh my God, should I take these down? But I'm like, no, I like these. There's like a little trio of little written things on the bedroom wall. It says like, I love us. Let's get cozy.
Oh.
It had to be you. And then next to those, I have one that says, it says, it says something like, oftentimes, or the end is always the beginning, something like that. So it's like, what seems like the end is actually the beginning. And I'm like, it's a good reminder to me because I feel like that's helpful, but I see them and I'm like, I'm sure someone is just cringing.
I think in the kitchen, I think in the kitchen, in the bathroom, no limits. Like all the sayings. I think they're so cute. I have some sayings in my bathroom too.
Oh my God, I forgot I have one in the kitchen too. Oh, Jesus. I just remembered it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
The only thing that my fiance Oscar really like wanted in our first apartment was a big old cross that his mom gave him, and I was like, "No, don't put that."
Oh.
And so
put it somewhere around a corner.
he put it above the door, so every time you would leave, you'd see it.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if your parents did this because you grew up Catholic, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need a cross by the door.
Yes,
There's got to be a cross by the door somewhere. Every single doorway in our home had a cross by it. It doesn't really anymore, but it did every single one of them.
Yeah.
And then on Palm Sunday, for what we used to have to do is on Palm Sunday, you have to go because you put palms that you have fashioned into like little rosettes or across itself and tucked it in to the crucifix next to the doorway. And then on Palm Sunday, you go around and take all those down and then you put all the new ones up.
That'll do it.
Dang, yeah, we didn't have that growing up.
Yeah.
My grandma did
Forgive me.
have plates with John F. Kennedy, the president, on it back in the day.
Okay.
That went to every place she lived. We did have those plates back in the day.
Yeah, I think my Nana had one along with a velvet Elvis
Oh,
that she had in the basement. It was
Velvet
actually
Elvis.
a painting of Elvis on a large like velvet canvas. So,
Man, the fashion and the stuff they did in the 70s and 80s, I'm like, y'all were getting it.
it was a whole thing.
Here's some more Gen Z terms right here. Drip. During previous generations, drip was slang for an unattractive, boring, or colorless person. Now, if someone mentions your drip, it's actually a good thing. Drip refers to your look or style, particularly when it's considered extremely fashionable or sexy. Kind of like a newer version of swag.
I was gonna say it's the equivalent of like you got swag, right? Swag, or you're swaggy or whatever. You got drip.
I've used that in my head. I've never said it out loud.
Oh,
I'll
drip.
look at a photo and be like, damn, he has no drip.
Oh no.
There's another one. Hits different. Sometimes something is so awesome that it impacts you or inspires you on a whole new level. The proper Gen Z term for this is it hits different. That new Adele album just hits different.
I use that in print, but not in speech. On Twitter or whatever, I will say something hits different, but I can't say it out loud. I got to give Kelvin props though, because I was just thinking like it wasn't until he joined the show that I ever heard someone in real life say it's giving and then follow it up with something. And so I had to hear him say it for months until I could finally feel confident enough to say it. And then I will say it and write it sometimes now.
It's a calmer one.
Yeah,
giving.
it took a minute to really digest how to use it.
Right.
Because some people like hear it and they're like, I don't understand what. So I got it, but it took a minute. So that's a Kelvinism that I have.
I'm gonna just go down the list of Gen Z terms: snatched, bet, skirt, understood the assignment. Okay, boomer. Say less.
I do love say less. I love
slaps, low key, high key, bussin', simp, and vibing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was out because I felt like in 2015, 2016, that's when remember our he used to be on air at our old radio station, Chase, used to always be like, yeah, this is such a vibe, or it's vibing.
It's different, but that is different. He always wanted to create a vibe.
Okay.
Or have good vibes, which was also relevant and cutting edge in the 2015, 2016 era to be like, good vibes, only good vibes. It's not that anymore. That's not the same thing that Chase was talking about. So like now, if you were going to go vibe with someone, it's almost the same thing as saying, I'm going to go hang out with someone, but you don't know what you're going to do until you get there and feel the vibe. And then you do what they're doing. You're vibing.
This is
and you also can't be like good vibes only, because now they're like, well, it's not just good vibes only. That's toxic positivity. It could be bad vibes too. And sometimes you have to vibe with that.
Vibing means relaxing, tapping into good feelings, and just generally enjoying the atmosphere. It's closely related to vibe, which is an older slang term from the late 1960s. That means a feeling or flavor of the kind specified. Vibing is used in many situations, but especially when someone is losing themselves in great music or conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, you would go vibe with someone, but that's not the same as like when Chase was trying to set a vibe. It was vibey, but I think is different.
Vibey.
It changed in like that 8-year period, and now it's a slightly different thing. The nuance is what kills you.
I like when people say bussin'. If something is really, really good, you might describe it as bussin'.
I don't think I've ever heard it in real life, though, probably because I don't hang out with any.
I cringed. He
When you
said
heard
it with
it.
his whole chest, like,
His
"Man,
whole chest.
this sandwich is bussin'."
Oh,
And I looked at Oscar and I was like, "Did you hear
like-
that?"
You're like, it's in the wild.
Who said that?
Just some kid at a cafe. We were in Nashville.
Mm.
It's actually a Cuban cafe, which is very good.
Mm.
And
It was bussin', obviously.
It was busted. Shit.
See, I can get down with that. Like, ooh, yes, girl. These chicken tenders are bussin', girl.
I hate it.
You should take a hold of bussin', and that should be your contribution to 2023 slang. Miguel, you take on bussin'.
Yeah.
I can do shit, and Kelvin already have his giving, so it's fine.
All right, I'm gonna be like, ooh, girl. Did y'all have actually I had this delicious Pop-Tart like cookie from this local place. I think it's called Honey Baker or something. That cookie was bussin', girl. Oh, I was supposed to split the cookie with Abe, but it was so good. I was like, bitch, you gotta get your own. This is good.
Okay. I think you've already naturally adopted it. So
Okay, got it. So bussin'.
I like dropping a really good okay boomer. But when it really hits home, when it's a really good
Are
one.
we still saying that? I thought that
I mean, it's on here.
Yes,
I didn't know that we were saying it out loud.
When it's an older person just bitching about something, okay, boomer.
Ooh.
One of our sales managers, Ryan, he always goes up to me. He's like, hey, loser, what's up? And so I was like, come on, set it up. Say it to me when I went to his apartment. And I was like, say it. He opens the door and he goes, hey, loser. I go, hey, boomer.
Oh,
Ended him. He was fucking shook. And he's not old. He's not
a boomer.
No,
at all.
And on this list, it says, okay, boomer. Gen Z and millennials are two distinct groups, but they found something to agree on with the term okay, boomer. Both generations helped popularize the phrase starting in 2019, and it's still going strong today. Okay, boomer is used as a clapback when people from older generations post condescending or out-of-touch things about younger generations online. It's also used in a humorous or ironic way to dismiss out-of-touch commentary from people of any age group.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I love it.
Well, now that we've been schooled.
I know, right? Now we've all learned something today. Cool. Anybody have anything else before we go?
Nah, I ain't got nothing to say.
No, I want to go home.
Probably.
I'm on 4 hours of sleep.
Oh.
But
Mr. I'm gonna stay up and watch the Oscars.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Like, why? And
every Sunday too. But The Last of Us is over, and there's no more award season. So
no, we done pretty much.
So you'll actually be sleeping on Sundays now?
No.
Okay. All right. Got it. Just making sure. And curious, I'm just, now that we're sort of like on the podcast is more laid back. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube right now, does it sound different, better or worse or the same to you? I'm just very curious from the technical end of things. How it
actually sounds. He's asking because we have different microphones, new microphones. So for the radio geeks and all of us, we know there's a difference, but we're curious if you do.
Holly, what's all your social media?
Radio Holly, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
Producer Kelvin?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. If you're on PlayStation, Bussy Killer, BSSY.
Bussin'. Bussin'.
Like, you can't even say it, like, seriously, without... Like, can you imagine? It's like when callers have to give us their email address and they're like
you did that to yourself.
Hogirl69 at
Right?
Yahoo. And we're like, what? She's like, I made it when I was in college. I'm
Ho
sorry.
down, mama. Of 3. Yeah. What? You maybe. Okay.
No, just keep it. Go ahead, keep it. Go ahead, keep it. Mine is Miguel Fuller. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Be Real on Peloton if you want to do a ride together. And make sure to listen to our other podcasts that we have, Miguel and Holly Full Show, Queen City Confessions, Blown Off. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, just type in Miguel and Holly's. Boom, it'll all pop up. All right, we will see you all on Wednesday. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.